first and foremost, let me say this, I'll obviously tip my hat to Oklahoma. I thought, there were some moments in the game where we had opportunities to really swing the tide, and we didn't. Versus a team like that, in a championship game atmosphere like that, that's what you got to do. And so the reality of it is, for my team, I'm really proud of them. The growth from week 1 to week 2, I thought is exactly what this coaching staff and the leadership on this team was looking for. Are we there yet? No, we'll get there. And with that said, questions for you guys.
After the first quarter, you and Oklahoma were 27-27. Did it feel like the big plays in the first quarter kind of swung things a little bit?
Gosh, no, I don't think so. I thought we were right there the whole game, to be honest with you. We couldn't make that play. We couldn't get that stop. And so at the end of it, that was the difference. My goodness, I think we had it down to 1 possession game late in the fourth quarter, right, and had a chance to go win the game. And so to me, that's the difference, and that's where we're growing to. But like I said, I think it's early in the season. I think the growth that we were able to make was exactly what this team needed. And again, that's where, I think you make your greatest improvement from week 1 to week 2, and if that's the case, then I think the Cyclones are going in the right direction. So I was really proud of this team.
How do you assess Zeb's play?
I think accessible. He had a great game, played really well, thought made great decisions. Even at the end, that's not his fault. He's pressured just trying to make a play at the end of it, but really proud of him. And he's done what we've seen Zeb do, quite honestly, and every opportunity he's gotten, he's taken advantage of it. So that's great for Zeb.
All things being equal, next week, if Kyle's back, is Zeb the guy?
Yeah, he won't be back next week.
Okay.
I think you're talking about another week or two. So again, I think that's just unfair to even think about right now until we get a bigger, broader spectrum of really what's going on.
How'd you feel about the way the offensive line played?
I thought immensely better. That's what an offensive line actually looks like compared to what last week looked like. So, we're trending in the right direction that way. I thought we were physical at times. And I thought there was a lot of growth there. So it's really good to see Good Jones. And I thought Colin Dole, how about him? His first start, he got to play against Oklahoma, and I thought he did a really good job. So I'm proud of him.
How's Josh doing?
Fine. He'll be good and ready to rock and roll.
What about Chase Allen? I didn't see if he came
back.
Yeah,
Chase didn't, and I will access it, see what's going on there. Tell me afterwards. I don't think it's anything major. It wasn't, wasn't knee or an ankle or anything. I think it's just a matter of it's a strain and just seeing how long or what that really looks like coming back to normal.
What does that give you that you didn't have before? To me it looked like there was extra pep in everybody's step up there. Or maybe that was the situation too.
Yeah, I just think it's the growth from week 1 to week 2. I don't think it's really unfair from anybody's evaluation of what was last week to what was this week, because I think last week was such a unique situation. You don't get week 1, you're trying to feel everything out, and all of a sudden, I think it just was a really unfair evaluation of who we really are. Now it's real because it happened and everybody saw it, but I think the reality of it is Zeb, Zeb certainly got the benefit of everything that was clicking around.
You had the second half, you got 65 yards, got off the field a few times on 3rd down. What did the defense do better in the second half?
Well, we tackled a little bit better. I thought we settled in, within the game. It was a situation where some self-inflicted wounds, that you're talking a team that's got outstanding athleticism. I thought it, spatially, we weren't great early in the football game, and it cost us at times. But, I thought we settled in, linebackers, safeties included, and I thought we did. We played much better in the second half than we did the first half.
When you had to rush the ball, second half you had to pitch it, but when you had to rush the ball, assess your rushing game.
Well, I think it took leaps and bounds stride from last week, especially against a front that, again, they weren't going to let you run the football. They were playing just like last week, an extra hat in the box the entire time, and when you do that, you got to take what the defense gives you. The difference between last week and this week on offense is we took what the defense gave us. So, I thought we were much better at times. We were unique. For you, we got under center. We used tight ends. We did some different things that we can do now. And so I think we can only continue to grow that way. And what a great opportunity, to be honest with you. You're doing against 2 outstanding defenses. And, I think we'll only grow if we're willing to grow after this week.
Just how big is this next 4-game stretch for you coming up?
Oh, it doesn't even matter how many games stretch, right? It's the next game. So, the next game is really important for us because we got to continue to grow. And it's not even about who we play, it's about us. And when we worry about us, you saw improvement today. When we worry about other things, we get ourselves in trouble.
Are you cramping up any late or anything?
Yeah, he cramping up a little bit throughout.
Could you, on that 3rd and 1 or whatever it was?
Sheldon was in.
Yeah.
Yes, you and I had the same conversation in our head.
How big was playing a lot of new receivers and helping Zeb settle in some nice catches? Matt Eaton had a big catch.
Matt Eaton played really well. How about Landon Akers really starting to show up, I think, for us. Obviously, Akeem, I thought, you know, took his game from a week ago to where he is today. And, you know, I think really improved greatly. You know, Akeem's had a phenomenal summer. I know I've spoken very highly of him. I trust him, and I think he'll be an anchor for us as we go. I thought Chase Allen had a great catch in the game. So, you know, we've got guys that can you know, we can get the ball to, and our running backs can catch. So, you know, I think that we'll just continue to develop that group, and that's not even talking about Deshaunte and Tariq, who both I thought did some great things today.
Are you at all surprised when Hakeem makes a play like he did in the first half?
No, you know, because in again, this is what I really love about that kid is if you came and watched us in full camp, he's the same guy, you know, and he's been the most consistent that I've ever seen a big play receiver in a long time through the last 9 months. And, you know, I think that helps a guy like Zeb really, I think, settle in and have confidence in whomever's that quarterback, whether it's Kyle, whether it's Zeb, whether whomever, it gives you a chance.
Were you happy with the way you guys contained on defense with Kyler today?
Yeah, and again, I think it's really unfair for me until I get a chance to watch it. You know, that kid's really special. You got to be disciplined when you play a kid like that. There's no doubt about it. But he's talented, and he's special, and he makes you defend the entire football field because of what he's got to do.
You guys have asked Colin Newell in terms of starting so early in his development.
Well, you know, it's. I think where we're getting to is finding what gives us the best opportunity to be successful. And I don't know if it's tough, or rather, I think, you know, last week Mike Rose stepped into his opportunity. This week Colin Newell steps into the very same arena and same opportunity. And, you know, sometimes even me has to trust that what your eyes see in practice and what the consistency that those guys do, you got to let them get out on the field, you got to let them play. And, you know, I'll take last week as my fault that I maybe didn't let Colin get out there soon enough. So lesson learned, and, you know, I don't have enough ego to sit here and say, you know, got to look yourself in the mirror sometimes too.
How do you feel about Greg Eisworth and what he's able to do in the back end?
You know, Greg is same thing. You know, he's been very consistent. If you came to spring practice and we get to play a spring game, but you see those 15 practices, he's the guy that's showing up just like you see him showing up. I think 2 really impressive weeks from Greg, and 2 weeks were tough to play safety. You got to go in the box, and then you got to defend the entire football field. And I thought he was outstanding.
Well, it's not a win. What's this do confidence-wise in getting your team back in the right train of thought, so to speak?
Yeah, and again, everybody wants wins and losses, and we all do. But all I care about is, do we get better 1 week at a time? Do we get better 1 day at a time? At Iowa State, for us to get where we want to go, that's the only way. And for me, I'm proud of the improvement. I know there's a lot of improvement that must get made if we're going to win games like that, and we're going to have continued opportunities. So to me, it's like I told our kids, we just got to keep plugging away. We got to keep pounding, and if we do it, we'll get where we need to be when we need to be there.
What are the biggest things that, when you look back at today, that you're like, okay, we got to get this fixed?
Well, we got to tackle in space. You know, we weren't. That wasn't our best effort today. You know, we got to keep growing on the offensive line. And, you know, I think from my end of it, I want to sit down special teams. I thought we made a little bit of growth there this week. You know, where are we there? And it's, all those margins. But I think for me, it's spatial football, which first time we had to play that this year. It's certainly the opportunity from our end of it. On that offensive line, it's got to keep growing, keep plugging away. And then, you know, at the end of it, special teams, and those are the key to success here.
Coach, you guys had a couple on kickoffs, some hooch kickoffs that gave Oklahoma a shorter field.
Right.
What were the decisions in those?
Man, I think they got, number one, we were kicking into the wind, and number two, I think it's one of the best kick returners in the country. You know, if you have watched them the last 2 weeks, he's got a kick return for a touchdown. He's got an 80-yard kick return. He's flipped the script. And I said that going into this game, the one thing that Oklahoma does really well is on special teams, they create big plays. And, you know, as long as we can mitigate that and we can do a great job putting the game back in our offense and defensive hands, it'll certainly give us some opportunity. And I thought that's what we did. I thought Chris did a really good job. And, you know, that young man that they have is a tremendous kick returner.
Marquise Brown had something like 185 yards receiving in the first half. What did you guys do in the second half to bottle him up a little bit?
Yeah, that's a great question. You know, I think just the reality from our end is in how many of those receiving yards came after, you know, yards after catch, to be honest with you. Now, he had the big one down the middle of the field, and I think just again, our awareness and understanding, you know, we're not good enough to give up the big play consistently, and that's maybe the biggest chunk one we gave up. But I think just we tackled better and we had better awareness, and you know, we let the game settle down, and that's hard. You go from week 1 to in the box to week 2. They're playing at mock speed, and they've got elite skill players all over the place. I thought we really settled into the second half.